After 25 episodes, we've reached the end of the Swiss series. We've covered every single canton of the country but one, so if you missed the other episodes, check out this playlist. Today it's time to talk about the last, but ironically the most famous Swiss canton, Zurich. Hello, and welcome to 7 Facts. Without a doubt, the most famous place associated with Switzerland is Zurich. With 1.5 million people living here, this is the most populated canton in all of Switzerland. And most of it is occupied by the city of Zurich and its surrounding metropolitan area. Despite being a highly urbanized but not very big canton, Zurich has a surprisingly diverse landscape with mountains, foothills, plateaus, lakes and forests. And it's a damn great place to live. Zurich has a higher index of human development than almost any independent state in the world and any other sub-state region. Which isn't that surprising. Thanks to good policies and administration, Zurich has become one of the world's main financial centers, a banking and insurance, R&D and high-tech manufacturing hub. Aside from the local companies, hundreds of international mammoths have subsidiaries present in Zurich, like Allianz, BMW, Coca-Cola, General Motors, Google, HP, IBM, and so on. Now that's one hell of an accomplishment. We know Zurich is important today, but what about in the past? Well, the city itself has been continuously inhabited for over 2000 years. It was founded by the Romans as Turicum, although the area was already settled by Celtic Helvetii tribes. Once the Romans retreated in 401 AD, the Alemanni Germans started moving in. As was the case in most of Western Europe, the fall of the Western Roman Empire initiated the Middle Ages and a struggle for power between various noble families began. Such was the case with Zurich too, until 1218, when it became a free imperial city of the Holy Roman Empire. The lands acquired by this city-state are still under Zurich's rule to this day as the territory of the canton. Before we get to the next fact, I'd like to ask you one thing. This video isn't sponsored, so perhaps you'd consider supporting this channel by becoming a patron. If you still enjoy my content, go visit my Patreon page and help this channel out. Right, with that said, let's go to fact number 3. With a population of over 400,000 people, the city of Zurich is the capital of the canton. The city itself has an urban agglomeration that extends well beyond the city limits and even the canton limits, thus reaching a total population of 1.8 million people. This city is one of the world's largest financial centers, but also one of the wealthiest on the planet. Quality of life is not too shabby either, Zurich having been repeatedly nominated as the European city with the best quality of life. With such great stats, it's easy to forget that it's also a delightful and fascinating place for tourists. Its many attractions include dozens of museums, a well-preserved old town filled with medieval and Renaissance buildings, and enough art, both in and out of museums, to keep tourists happy for a week, at least. Once you're done with that side, you can step into the modern quarters of Zurich, where restaurants, shopping streets, clubs and pretty much anything else you might want await you. Because Zurich is so famous and a major player in the financial sector, many, if not most people, believe this is the capital of Switzerland. But that's not right. While it is true that it held this title for a very short while in the 1800s, Zurich is most definitely not the capital of the entire country. In fact, Switzerland has no capital city, at least not one defined by the constitution. Unofficially, Bern is the country's political center and it is the de facto capital of Switzerland. Everybody in the world knows that Switzerland is a fiercely neutral country and does not participate in any wars or take sides. And yet, Switzerland has been bombed during World War II by the Americans by mistake. The first accidental bombing happened in 1944 when the US Air Force was attempting to bomb Ludwigshafen am Rhein in Germany, but instead targeted Schaffhausen. As you can imagine, this caused a considerable diplomatic mess. The investigation cited weather conditions and navigation errors as the causes for the bombing, and the city was compensated $4 million for the various damages. But only 1 year later, the US Air Force bombed Zurich, thinking that they were hitting Aschaffenburg in Germany. B-24 bombers hit Zurich with 12.5 tons of high explosives and 12 tons of incendiaries, killing 5 people. At virtually the same time, other bombers dropped 12.5 tons of high explosives and 5 tons of incendiaries on Basel. Have you ever considered visiting a place that has nothing to offer? No? Well, if you change your mind, Zurich has exactly what you need. The No-Show Museum is a special kind of museum, one devoted to nothing. Its purpose is to show how the concept of nothing has manifested through art over time. It's basically a display of the arts of the imperceptible, minimalism, absence, or destruction. The concept may not be the easiest to wrap your mind around, but it is certainly intriguing and one of the highlights of a Zurich visit. Today, Switzerland is still divided between Protestant and Catholic regions, although this has increasingly become less important. But did you know that the Reformation of Switzerland started in Zurich? Zurich was the focus of the Swiss Reformation led by Huldrych Zwingli. Zwingli attacked the custom of fasting during Lent, exposed the corruption of the ecclesiastical hierarchy, promoted clerical marriage, and attacked the use of images in places of worship. These and other radical ideas led to significant changes in civil life and state matters in Zurich and spread to several other cantons of the old Swiss Confederacy, thus initiating the Reformation in Switzerland. This Reformation caused a rift between many small communities and cantons alike and sparked various religious hostilities, but that is a whole other subject on its own. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. Leave your comments downstairs and don't forget there's a Patreon page where you can support this channel. I hope to see you next time. Bye.